encouraging you or I'm discouraging you to be. So hopefully, so how many of you are interested? Mish, are you an entrepreneur? How many are interested in considering being an entrepreneur? Thank you for editing it. So I hope the maybes are a lot, because the whole point is to convince the maybes to become yes at the end. So continue. So we're getting there. Very good. So we have a rough 50-50 between the yes and the no and the maybes. It's 47 to 53. So this is good. We keep it for a few more seconds. For those who did not vote, it's a 50-50, close between the two. Okay, so it's very good. Okay, so it's about a 50-50 split between the two. 52 in terms of maybe and no, and yes, we have about 48% on it, which is already a pretty high figure. So this is now basically what is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is a person who has an idea and who would like to take this idea and turn it into either a product or service, and to structure it and launch it in the market. So this is the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur is somebody who is creative, who has ideas, who doesn't necessarily wants to be independent. So he likes to work on his own, be his own boss or her own boss, and at the same time put together something that makes a contribution. Ideally, a contribution to the community. It could be a contribution to his pocket. It could be a contribution to the pockets of the investors, the shareholders who come with this. So really, the definition, if you want, the core of the entrepreneur is idea. With idea comes a certain passion of wanting to make a difference. With it comes the concept of wanting to be, not to belong to a big structure. You want to be your own boss. So this is in some ways what the entrepreneur is all to be. Now, a lot of Lebanese have it in their DNA, because we have been creating companies, we've been closing also companies. So it's very much part of the DNA. What I'm going to do over the next hour or so is I'll divide it into three categories. The first part is I will describe to you what is the ecosystem that we have in place in order to help graduates or graduating students to take their idea and to turn these ideas into products, into services, and hopefully into companies. So this will be the first part. And you will see that despite the crisis, despite all the problems that we're facing and that you're facing on a daily basis, and probably these problems will continue for 6 months, for 12 months, maybe for more, hopefully, but at one point in time, this will end. So there will be an end to this chaos at one point in time, after maybe a number of other surprises, negative surprises. But these programs are existing today. And because of the crisis, there's going to be even more similar programs in order to help talented young graduates or young students to be able to take their dream, to take their idea and turn it into a dream and make these dreams come true. So, two characteristics: you need to be a dreamer, and it's important to have a dream. It's important, but at the same time, you need to have the ability to execute on this dream. So these are a balancing act between dreamers, ideas, and you have many ideas, but at the same time, you have the ability to turn this idea into a plan and to turn this plan into real actions that will make a difference. Okay, so this is the definition of the entrepreneur. So the first part is on the ecosystem, and trust me, it's a beautiful ecosystem. The ecosystem for entrepreneurial has never been as colorful, as impactful, and as diverse as what it is today. And in some ways, I was part of creating this entrepreneurship. I was part of the investment committee of Beritech Fund One. This was 13 years ago in Lebanon. This was the first venture capital fund, not only in Lebanon, but in the region, on technology companies. So we funded there, we raised at the time $6 million, And then we funded about 18 companies. And not only we funded them, we helped them grow, we exited this investment, and we returned the money to the different shareholders. So this is the first part. The second part is I'll ask Sabah, who is an entrepreneur, who has gone through one of those programs that I'll be describing you. The program is called AgriTech, to share her experience in terms of what is entrepreneurship, what will be the tips that she has to you, and what did she benefit from this ecosystem. And then the third part will open it up to Q&A. So I'm sure you have questions, you put your questions, you will have either Mariam or Gan will be circulating this, so you'll have a platform where you could put your questions there, and then we'll do our best to answer those questions. Okay, so this is how I propose to plan it. Let me share the screen. About 2 hours ago, I was delivering this presentation to the AUB. So this is the presentation. Do you see the screen? You see the screen? Anybody could tell me? Mariam, Gael? Hello?
Yes, you are able to see it.
Okay, very good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe a bit the ecosystem, and I'm going to use one program, which is called the Water Energy for Food program. This is one example, but this is one program out of probably about 50 programs that exist in Lebanon today. Now, out of those, 20 are under the Beritech umbrella, but you have many other incubators, accelerators that are also present. Each university have their own. Beritech is part of the Université Saint-Joseph. We have quite a number because we were the first one to basically put our act together back in 2002. So this was about close to 20 years ago where we started, and the other universities followed. I know a number of you are AUB graduates, USG graduates, LAU, Lebanese University, and others that we have. So most universities today would have it. We just have a few years, a bit of advance to it. So I'm going to describe this, and I'm going to focus on not only on entrepreneurship, but I'm going to focus on social entrepreneurship, because I believe the future is not only in having ideas and turning these ideas into a profitable venture, but most importantly is to have an idea that can be turned into a venture, but this idea has an impact on people. Because today Lebanon is going through a severe crisis, the worst crisis in our history, and this crisis has so many dimensions. I don't want to go through it. You all are aware of what it is. You know, the number of youth who are leaving, graduates who are leaving the country, the number of unemployed people, the number of people below the poverty line, and so on and so on. So it's a huge mess. It's the responsibility of, unfortunately, an incompetent and corrupt political system that we had, and hopefully this will change with the new elections coming in and with the new leaders that will be coming up. So what we want to do is, despite the crisis, I'm going to share with you these programs. So this program is about identifying and about scaling 100 innovative social enterprises in it. And it's a program led by Beritech, but we're working together with other consortium members. So these are other NGOs that are present and helping startups in being able to develop. And where is the funding? And you will see a number of the fundings are coming from different groups, not only from one group. In this case, we have Germany, we have the EU, we have the Dutch government, the Swedish government, and USAID with the American being present. Now, briefly on Beritech, and Beritech, as I said, is one entity in the ecosystem. What Beritech does, it started about 19 years ago. It provides different dimensions. It's part of it is capacity building. So what do we do? But also we do policy reform. We push and we lobby. For instance, to have a social enterprise, we need to have a legal setup in order to recognize social enterprise, to be able to give them an accelerated way to create one, to give them some benefits from either a tax or from a speed of setting up the business. So there is a lot of lobbying. We also need a law for bankruptcy. Today, bankruptcy takes 5 years. This doesn't work. We need to do a law to protect intellectual property. So there is a big lobbying efforts that is taking place, and this is an ongoing process that we are heavily involved in. Then we move to the startup, and SME means small, medium-sized enterprise. So what we do is we help them. We help them grow, we help them develop, and we have a number of activities that we do at the university level. We call them ideathon, we call them hackathons, we call them, this is where we take students like you, we put them around, they have an idea, they come up, we help them structure this idea, we help them pitch this idea, and then we help them get prices and hopefully get also accepted to an accelerator. Because there the accelerator would take them the step ahead, which is the startup and SME incubation, where we incubate those companies and we turn the idea into a product and the product into a company. So this is what we call about the incubation process. And this is typically 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be 12 months. Sabah will discuss it. She went through the accelerator and this was a 12 months process. She started with an idea, she finished with a product and a solution, actually a platform. And at the same time, she created her company in order to be able to promote it. So this is the startup and SME incubation. We have what we call the startup acceleration. So you have your idea, but you don't have the means, you don't have the know-how, but you think it's a great idea. It could be in waste management, it could be in renewable energy, it could be in any different field that you could think of that would have an impact. We help you screen it, we help you validate it, and we take you through what we call an accelerator. And the accelerator, like the word says, it's basically, instead of taking 2 years to set up your company, we help you accelerate the process, take your company, do your market study, validate your product and service, develop your prototype, test your prototype. All this is what we call the accelerator. Be able to pitch for it, do your first sale, validate the sale. All this process is part of the services provided by the accelerators. And we have a number of these accelerators. Just in Berry Tech alone, we have accelerators in the agricultural field. We have accelerators in the water tech field. We have accelerators into the green energy. We have accelerators in renewable energy. We have accelerators for social enterprise. So we have different accelerators, and all these accelerators do the same, and I'll take you through the process that we use. We also help students become entrepreneurs. We have a number of courses that we run, not only for USG, but also for all universities, where we help you. How do you structure, what is entrepreneurship? How do you structure your business plan? How do you pitch for your business plan? So this is part of a certificate that will tell you, to help you understand better the beauty of being an entrepreneur and the steps that you need in order to be able to launch your company. Okay, so this is what some of the services that we do. So we do it across different, what we call verticals. What is a vertical? It's different sectors. So when we started 18 years ago, it was purely technology. So these were tech companies regarding to either in terms of programming or in terms of software development. So this was the area. But now these verticals are, as I mentioned, agriculture and food, huge one. And it's building on the core competency of Lebanon. Water, very important for Lebanon. So much water wastage taking place. Energy and food, which is quite important. Clean technology, it could be renewable energy, it could be wind energy, it could be waste management, green entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship. All of those verticals have an accelerators, and the accelerators not only will provide you with the service and with the training, but we also provide you with grant money. You need $5,000, you need $10,000, you need $20,000. We help you fund you, and we help you prepare you so that you could pitch in front of other investors. Okay, so this is important for you to know. Now, where is the money coming from? The money is coming from different organizations. And this is, you have from the European Commission to the European Union, companies like Google, the US Agency for International Development, the Kingdom of the Netherlands, the World Bank, the UNDP program, etc., the Swedish government. So these are all funds that are providing it. And in total, we have raised about 100 million. This is fresh money. So if you convert it into, if you want local money, what it is, this is equivalent to more than $600 million that is coming in terms of helping entrepreneurs take their ideas, develop their ideas, and grow. And this is Berry Tech alone. I know of other programs, So in total, you have hundreds of millions of fresh dollars coming into the country to be able to help graduates who have ideas and turn them into entrepreneurs. So what are these programs? This is an example of the programs that we have. So for instance, funded by USAID, and this is only on the Berry Tech umbrella. If you look and you talk to others, they have others. So this is only, you go to AUB, you go to LAU, you might have some others, but these are the ones coming from the Berry Tech. So we have the IM Capital is here to invest in early phase companies. And most of them do the same thing. They give them money, either grants, or they give it as equity capital, i.e. I take shares in your company, I become a co-owner, the same way you are an owner of your company, I co-own it with you, so I help you grow. Your success is my success. So this is important that we have. This was a program for 5 years that is going to be extended. We have the LED program. This is purely technical assistance to small, medium size. This is not to start up, to small, medium size. Then we have IM Venture. This is also investment facilitation that we have over 5 years, starting last year for 2025. We have Impact Rise. This is for entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, ideation phase. You have the idea and you want to take it and turn it into a company. Impact Rise is here to help you. We have the one that I'm leading in terms of investment is called the WE4F, Water and Energy for Food. This will be over 4 years, extended by 4 years, 8 years. And this is working with small, medium-sized enterprises and helping them grow. The accelerators, Agri-Tech, Agri-Food, the Act Smart, which include clean energy, include accelerator, Agri-Tech accelerator on it. It also includes the Food Cost Cluster, which is a cluster of agricultural companies together. This is over 6 million, and this is for ideation phase. This is you with idea coming in and say, look, I have an idea, I want to apply for it, and you go and you apply to these different accelerators, Impact Rise, Agri-Tech, Clean Energy, and others that you have. And then you have a series of others, and they're all the same. They're all supporting either investment or technical assistance in the textile, in the wine grape waste, into dairies, etc. So you have a number of those programs that are coming in, and this is only from one entity, if you want, one NGO that we have. So take Berry Tech and multiply Berry Tech by 10, and then you will see this is the ecosystem that you have in Lebanon. So this is good news. It's good news because money is pouring in. Despite the crisis, money is pouring in. It's good news because the more the situation is becoming dangerous or critical, the more there is a need and an interest, not only from the international donors, but also from the diaspora. So the diaspora is going to come and start. I'm a member of LIFE. LIFE is the Lebanese International Finance Executive. We are across the world. We have funded a number of companies. We've funded several scholarships, graduate scholarships. Some of you have benefited from it. So we have the diaspora is going to be more and more active. So on one side, you have the donors. On the other side, you have the diaspora. On the third aspect, you have what we call the DFI. These are the Development Finance Institution. This is the World Bank, the IFC. This is the EBRD, European Bank of Reconstruction and Development, the European Bank of Investment, Banque Européenne d'Investissement. So these are all others that are here, and every one of them is having programs targeting the development and the encouragement of entrepreneurship in the region. So where do you start? You start with hackathon and ideathon, where you come up just with an idea, and you have nothing else but an idea on a sheet of paper on your head. Then you successfully, you see that this makes sense. You then go to what we call the accelerators. These accelerators could be 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. All universities have accelerators. So you should, if you don't know, reach out or we'll give you the contact details that we have. And the accelerators give you between $25,000 to $50,000 that would help you put together your prototype, validate your prototype. After this, what do? We have what we call the business angels. I'm a shareholder in Cedar. Cedar is a business angel fund. We are launching our 5th fund. Each one of us have put money, and each one of us, and every year we've been present for 4 years now, we are funding a number of companies companies that are graduating from these accelerators. So we have the Ideathon Hackathon, we move to the accelerators, we have the business angels, and after the business angels fund you between 100,000 to maybe 300,000. Then you have all these programs like WE4F and others, where it's between 300 to $500,000, also to help you in terms of develop your program, develop your products, develop your service, develop your platform, and help you be successful. And then we have the venture capitalists. I sit on the investment committee of Berry Tech Fund 1, on Berry Tech Fund 2. I'm also sitting on a private equity fund active in Africa called the Arrow Fund on it. So we have access to a number of institutional investors who are here to help those companies who went through these phases be able to grow. So what did I describe? I describe an ecosystem that is around most of the leading universities in Lebanon, starting with Ideathon and Hackathon, moving to accelerators, moving to business angel funds, moving to these programs by international donors, moving to venture capital and private equity. This is an ecosystem with universities, with entrepreneurs, with investors, with advisors. This is the ecosystem that has been created. It has gone through some tough times because of the liquidity crisis and others, but you have a number of companies who have successfully done. And what 2 hours ago, I was in front of AUB, I told you I took two of those companies. These companies started like you with an idea. They turned this idea into a company and they start exporting well before the crisis came in. So we have some companies like Technica, some companies like Robinson Agri, some companies like Biomass, some companies like B-Synchro, some companies, most of their business was already in the export. So we help those companies use the manpower, use the talent that we have in Lebanon, but export their services outside. And these companies now have a unique benefit because of the depreciation of the currency, by the fact that their revenue is in fresh dollar, most of their cost is in local currency, in Lebanese pound that they do, but they pay their people well to retain them on it, but they have then a huge competitive advantage behind it. So what we do is we don't only help the companies innovate, we help the company grow, and we help the company export. So they are in a position to be able to continue covering their costs. So what is the process? The process is simple across all the programs. And I said I presented 20 programs. There is probably 100 programs in Lebanon today. They all go through the same process. The first thing we do is a diagnostic. What is working? What is not working? We sit down with each company, either through a survey, through one-on-one discussions, through whatever you want to do. We identify the gaps. Based on these gaps, we identify 2 or 3 or 4 key challenges. These are the challenge to transform. What are the transformation pillars that they need? Is it export? Is it certification? Is it access to funding? What is it? So we help them describe what these challenges are. Then we help them structure, we call it a transformational plan. It's like a business plan. It's describe your product and service, describe your market, describe your competitors, how do you differentiate, describe how you're going to take your products to your customers, what sort of resources you need, what will be your projections, and what are the risk areas behind it. This could be a 10, 12, 15 page, 15 slides deck that you have. This is your transformation plan. We help you put it together. Then in your transformation plan, you identify 3 or 4 projects where you need funding. We identify them, we fund them for you. So you need to do a market study for the size of, I don't know, the waste disposal into Lebanon. We will pay for it and we'll have the advisor come and deliver it. You want to do a certification to be able to export to the European Union. We will pay for this certification, and for whatever you want to file a patent because you have a great IP and a great invention, we pay for it. And we have the lawyers come in and do this for you. So this is the technical assignments. And then we also help you identify how much money you need, not only now, in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years, and then we'll help you get the money. Initially, we'll give you grants, and then we'll help you get debt or get equity from investment coming in and becoming shareholder with you. So this process is the same process, whether you are an Ideathon hackathon, accelerator, business angel that are going through, or we go through the same process. I don't want to dwell. So for instance, in WE4F, today we had 3 hours in the morning on how you put together your transformation plan. Tomorrow, I'm delivering a 3-hour workshop on how do you put together your financial projections so that we understand where you have. Then we give them one-on-one session with each of the 21 companies that were selected. Out of 200 companies that applied from this program, we selected 21. We will have 2 hours one-on-one session with each one of them after we've done the webinar. Then they pitch their transformation plan. We give them feedback, they take the feedback and they make the final submission. We are today the 22nd. By the 6th of April, 21 companies would have submitted their transformation plan after going through 3 webinars, one one-on-one session for 2 hours, receiving feedback during another session, and then coming up and submitting their final. This is a clear example of what is taking place today. One program multiplied by 100. This is what you have today in Lebanon. So what is the diagnostic? Diagnostic is we basically ask you questions, and based on these questions, we will give you a certain rating. This will help you identify what are the gaps that you have, and then these gaps will help you come up with how do you address those gaps through either technical assistance, through advisory, through mentoring. We will help you put together those. So this is some way a situation where you are today, and then we help you, and then we go through all the elements of your business plan, from the way you communicate, sales and marketing, your market analysis, your product, your organization. We'll tell you what is working, we'll tell you what needs to be further developed, and this will be the base of your transformation plan. Then we ask you the challenges. So when I sat down on Friday with those 21 companies and their leadership team, this is the challenges they told me. So this is help us grow, help us access export market, help us manage our cash flow, help us raise funds, help us create a social environmental impact, help us access talents and retain those talents, etc. So these were the concerns expressed by these companies. And the whole point of the program is to help them address all these concerns. So we start by doing the gap analysis. We understand what are the challenges. Then we move to the transformation plan. They put it together, 15 slides, 20 slides maximum. This is who we are. This is the product. This is our market. This is how we're going to get to the market. And this is the metrics that we're going to be held accountable for. And based on these metrics, we then give them the grants to be able to grow. So how do we do it? We do it through technical assistance. So these are projects where we find an advisor full-time, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, to work with you on a specific topic. We pay for it. We help you also be investment ready, so you can pitch in front of investor. It's not only about the pitch, it's about having the right financial model. It's about defining what is the value of your company. It's about helping you negotiate what we call a term sheet before investors invest in it. We also help you access networks. Remember our donors, 5 donors: Europe, US, Germany, Netherlands, Sweden. They all have their network. We have 4 consortium members: Chemonics, Beritech, CWAS, IMWI. So we have different, and all of them have their own network, and they help you define what is the right partner for you, in which country you want to operate, etc., etc. And lastly, but not least, is we give you the money. And trust me, when you give a company $300,000 in fresh money today, it's worth a lot. Most of the salaries are still in LBP. I tell you, it's equivalent of 10 times this amount, which is enough money to be able to launch your company, to grow your company, and to come up with product that makes sense. So this is a summary of the first part of the presentation. It's a summary of the ecosystem, what is taking place. It's a summary of the process that we take, the list of all the programs that we have, and the process that we take in these programs to be able to help people like yourself come up with the idea, develop this idea, test it with a prototype, and be able to launch it. Okay, I'm going to stop now. I'm going to ask Sabah to unmute, and I'm going to ask Sabah to come up. I'll stop sharing, and to share her experience as an entrepreneur. What did it take to be an entrepreneur? What were the key challenges that she faced? And also, what did she benefit from the ecosystem? And what messages she has to you? As some of you are thinking, number of you, 50% of you are thinking to become entrepreneurs. So Sabah, can you please unmute? I'll introduce Sabah. Sabah is the founder of, basically Sabah has more than close to 20 years of experience with multinationals across the world in different sectors. She's a proven executive who decided at one point in time that she doesn't want to work for a multinational, but she really wants to create her own company and she wants to make an impact. So she chose an area which for Lebanon is still avant-gardiste, which is on food safety, and providing the platform to be able to address the food safety needs of a number of companies in Lebanon who need to track the product that they have, because you need traceability in order to be, in case you have any problem on it, and Sabah will describe it. Sabah, can you unmute? The floor is yours. Thank you for being with us. She's also a dear friend, and we're working together on a number of joint programs. Thank you, Sabah, for being with us. Sabah, you have to unmute. So somebody has to unmute Sabah. Mariam, Gael.
Yeah, I asked her to unmute, but I don't know.
Yeah, now it's working. Thanks.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Sabah.
Yeah. First, hi everybody. Some of you, I was looking at the name. I was with you on a call a couple of months ago, so I'm glad to see you again, all of you. And it's always a joy to be part of Constantin's session. I always learn from Constantin. No matter what, there is always some learning. So my intervention today is going to be, in fact, based on my experience when I joined one of the agri-tech programs. And this is something I want to share with you, for you just to think differently, maybe when you think about what you want to do. Taking into consideration today what's going on in the country, and you don't find jobs, you don't find opportunities, I think some of you, I'm sure not all of you, but some of you would like to consider entrepreneurship. And I truly believe that your time, you're young, all of you are like millennials. So all of you have been, you are the generation of the internet. You know more than what we do. When I was your age, I used to go to the library to do some research. Today, you have the whole world at your fingertips. So you can do so many things more than we used to be able to do. So I encourage each one of you to find in himself some ideas that he likes to make them come true, you know, like a dream. And I think somewhere you are lucky because you can get out of your comfort zone, which is the school, which is going into a regular work and you know, like getting a job and having a salary, and this comfort zone that my generation used to have, for you to go into entrepreneurship and create something for you and of your own. And again, not everyone is like an entrepreneur profile, but some of you will be, and I'm sure we will meet again, some of you seeing you with ideas and realizing a dream. Constantin talked about many programs of under Beritech umbrella. I had the chance to be part of the Agri-Tech program, which focuses on technology in agriculture and agro-food. And when we first joined the program, in fact, based on my experience and my partner experience, we said, oh no, this is for young generations, this is not for us. But in fact, we were encouraged to join because of the idea itself. So we joined, and believe me, telling you, after my 25 years of experience, I think going through an acceleration program is like having a mini MBA. And I truly mean it. It's not just words. And it's much better from an MBA program because you learn by practice. It's not only about theory, but you learn by practicing your own project. So just the idea of getting into an acceleration is just the way you start, the way they take you from one phase to another, from one topic to another. You are exposed to every single item of an MBA program. So from first, let's talk about the idea itself, then marketing, then finance, then go to market, sales, pricing strategy. Every single aspect of an MBA, you go through it and you learn. You have to learn. So the acceleration program, if you have an idea, is the right place to grow and to move with your idea, because an idea is nothing. It's just an idea. It's good to have, but once you have it, it doesn't take you anywhere unless you have the right framework. And the acceleration program was the right framework for us, because when I say framework, it's not just it's not just courses and sessions. It's about the support that you get, a comprehensive support based on your needs. Then I think something you don't find usually when you start your own project on your own is that within an acceleration program, they push you. You have deliverables, you have times that you need to meet, and sometimes you are squeezed. But the fact that you are squeezed and you are challenged, it gets the best out of you. So you become creative, and you have to solve it, and you have to find ways to solve it. So you go for solutions. And one of the things that we took advantage a lot from being part of the Agritech program, and any acceleration program is the same, is that it's a gateway for you. It's a door opener from a networking perspective, from a financing perspective, from a mentoring perspective. So people who don't know, let's say, finance, you will get the right people to do the financial homework. People who have never been exposed to marketing, they will get the marketeer to support them and to learn, and then to come out with the right plan. So the acceleration program, as the name says it, it's an accelerator. So it pushes you till at a point, and this is maybe, I would say, the cherry on top that you're looking for, is to have a pitch. And me, myself, who have been doing keynotes for many years, and I do my own presentations, and I talk about my technical topics, and I drill into topics, when I came to the pitch, believe me, I didn't know how to do it. And saying everything in 2 minutes or 1 minute or 3 minutes, and getting the right support to be able to deliver on that, is something that you will learn how to do. And it's not only about, just ticking an activity. It's just delivering. I mean, pitching is every day something you're going to do when you talk about your project. So you have to rehearse, you have to do, to repeat, and to scale it within 1 minute, 2 minutes, and 3 minutes, and then you're okay with that. So we went through all of these. And I would say also, it doesn't stop there. The acceleration program, if you see me today with Constantin, it's because also I always get support from Veritech. It doesn't stop. So the acceleration program is a framework, but the nice thing is that these people that help you through the program will continue to help you even after. So I'm gonna close with just a small, just maybe insights that I'm gonna give you. You are all young, you have my kids' age, and I'm gonna tell you what I say to my kids every day. If you have an idea, just go for it. Your time is the right time for startups when you are young. Today, you have access to any kind of information. Just go for your ideas, don't wait. Lebanon today has this crisis, and maybe it's just a push to you guys, young, to do something on your own and not to stay and wait. And me, who lived the wars, the war of 75, and I was a kid, but at that time, there were companies who were born during the war, during that war. Today, it's a crisis. It's kind of a war also, but it's about economy, not about arms. So it is a kind of a war where people who establish themselves today as startups might grow a lot in the future, because you learn it the hard way under these circumstances. So I'm gonna close by wishing you all good luck, and I'm reachable. So if you need some help, I do some coaching. Constantin talked about the ideation and the hackathon. These are events where some startups are selected. So I do coaching with them and I advise them. So if you ever want to learn more about these, just ping me, just send me a message, an email or anything, and I will be happy to connect with you. Okay? So thank you very much, and I wish you all luck.
Thank you, Sabah. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to have you, Sabah, and I love her passion. I love her motivation and her drive. So it's wonderful to have you. But stay with us because there will be questions. It would be good to hear also from you. Look, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to wrap it up with a few messages. The first message is that you, as an entrepreneur, you have the opportunity to be able to learn, even if it doesn't work, even if you fail. You have an idea, and you will have the support around this idea. I listed all the programs that are available in order for you to take the idea a step ahead. And there are different steps. And this, no matter what you end up doing, you end up working for a big United Nations organization, you end up working for a hotel, for a multinational, whatever it is, the experience that you gain as an entrepreneur, because you will need to think sales, you'll need to think marketing, you'll need to think finance, you'll need to think strategy, you'll need to think operation, you need to think technology. This is going to like learning new skills, learning how to play piano at the same time as learning how to ski or learning how to. So this is quite important skills that no matter what you end up doing, you'll be able to learn and apply those skills over the period. So this is one. So, and even if you fail, actually it's great to fail, because if you did not fail, you didn't try hard enough. So fail, take your learning from failure and move on to either another idea or another venture. The second message is this is the best time in Lebanon to have access to funding. Never, ever in the history of the country did you have so many money coming in order to help entrepreneurs, to help founders of companies establish their company and grow. So this is the best time, despite the crisis. Number three, if you don't have the courage, so what I've encouraged you is that we funded 150 companies. So personally, I funded more than 10 companies as Constantin. As Cedars, we funded also another 20. But in total, in the Veritech ecosystem alone, we funded 150 companies. Now, if you look at the entire ecosystem, we funded 500. Now, these companies are looking for talent. These companies are get the money, but where is the money going? Primarily to hire people to do the job. So if you don't have the guts to do it on your own, reach out to these different companies. Find out who are these companies that are graduating from, are getting the funding from Veritech and from others. They're all listed. If you access the site of Agritech, they will list you the companies. They will list you the owners. They will list you what do they have in terms of product offering. So this is the third message, is if you don't want to do it, reach out. The fourth message is, I tell you, when you look around, and you look at banks, you look at government, because where were people going when they were graduating? They would either go for a bank, or they will go for a government position, or they will go for some of these large companies. Trust me, if you look at not only in Lebanon, but across the world, the trend now is for a lot of people, they want to do it their own way. So entrepreneurship, venture capital, setting up new companies is gaining and continuing to gain even more momentum because of the crisis. Because there is so many needs that are identified, but it's much easier to do it as a startup and to address it because you move much faster. You move much faster and you can take and beat much larger companies in their own turf, in their own market. So what I'm saying is the expertise is here. We have hundreds of advisors. Sabah is one of them, and we have others that are here. We have investors that are here, the Business Angel Association, the number of investment funds that are today working, not only in local dollars, but also in fresh dollars. We have those programs, those that I've shared with you some of the information on the program that are currently being present. And we have a country with huge talent. Each one of you has a core competency. You are more than 200 on this call, each one of you, there is one thing that you do and you do well. So my question to you is, what is it? What is this one thing that you do and you do well? And how can you take this one thing and apply it to a product and service, put it to the service of the community and align it with your spirituality? You have it. You have it. So my question is, what is your passion? How do you turn your passion into a product, into a service? How can you take this service and put it to the benefit of the community? And then we'll help you find the right people to take you and to help you grow on it. Okay, so keep this in mind. It's in terms of these questions, because you are at an inflection point. You are graduating, or you just graduated, or you will be graduating, and your question is, what do I do? What do I do? Do I go for another job? Do I set up a company here? So you have those, and this is where you need to get, at least the question is, what do I really love to do? And if you don't know, try different things. This is the beauty. Try different things. Try an internship. We have a number of interns in Veritech. Try an internship for 2 or 3 months, then try another internship for 2 or 3 months. After 2 or 3 internships, you have my son. I took him and I said, look, go through all these internships, and then you get a much better sense. Don't listen to your dad. I have 2 sons. They're a bit older than you on this process, but we went through the same discussion. And both of them, I encourage them to try different initiatives, different companies, different ventures, different function, different countries even, so that they get an exposure, cross-function, cross-country, cross-sector, and then sit down and let's see what you really enjoy doing. Okay, so I'm going to stop at this point, and we're going to go to the third part, which is basically your question and answer. Okay, so how do we take it? Gael, you taking it?
Yes, I will share my screen and I will state the questions so you can hear them and everyone can read them in case he cannot read.
Okay.
Please let me know whenever you can see my screen.
We see your screen.
Okay.
And the questions could be in French, could be in Arabic, could be in English, whatever you want. Okay,
Yep,
books
okay,
you recommend. Okay. All right. No, look, you have a number of books on entrepreneurship. Actually, you don't need books. You have so many articles. Just if you Google my name, I have about, more than 10 different articles. I have 25 different videos on it. So you have plenty of those available on it. Is it worth drop servicing in Lebanon? Okay. So we have what do you mean by drop servicing? So whoever asked the question.
Guys, whoever asked a question, you can send by chat or anything.
Okay, let me take the next one. Can anyone be an entrepreneur, or are you? I think it's a good question. I believe anyone can be. In some ways, you are all entrepreneurs, because all of you at one point in time will decide to make an investment, and this investment could be in your education, could be in real estate, could be in other that you do. By doing this, by making investments, you're already an entrepreneur. Now, some are born. Why? Because you have it in your genes, your father, your grandfather, or your grandmother, or your mother that has it. So part of it is, but what you have today is you have at least a skill set and an ecosystem that did not exist 15 or 20 years ago. So you have it, so it helps you in order to become even a more successful entrepreneur. So I think some of you are born, and others develop it, and then they enjoy doing it, and as they do it, they excel in it, and they discover where their true vocation is. So I don't know whether you are, the important thing, I have 3 questions to you. Whenever you do, whatever you do, whether you're working for a big company, whether you work with your own company, the 3 questions I ask you is, 1, are you learning? The second question is, are you making a difference? Are you contributing? And tell me what you contribute. And the third one is, are you having fun? So if any of these 3 questions is a no, drop it. It's not for you. And this could be the job that you do. It could be whatever, politician for a big bank. But these are the 3 questions. Are you learning? Are you enjoying? Are you contributing? Any one of these 3 is a no, drop and move to the other one. Other questions. Can you give us example of companies you help grow? Okay, I funded Look, on Beritech, B-Synchro is an example. B-Synchro is a company that is in, it's a software company. They're into the insurance and reinsurance business. Michel Chamas is the founder. We funded them twice. We funded them once about 7 years ago, it was about $500,000. We funded them a second time about 3 years ago, it was about $2 million. So we have. Today, they are present across different countries, most of their business in the export. So this is one example of a Lebanese company that we have funded and we invested, and this company now has reimbursed. So we exited. Not only we funded, the Shatara is not in the funding. Anybody could fund and put money. The real value is how much value did you bring into this company? Did you help increase the valuation of this company? And were you able to exit by having somebody else come in and buy your shares? This is the beauty of it. And B-Synchro is one of many examples of companies. I could mention Cardio Diagnostics, where most of their business is export. I could mention, so you have a number. I also invest in companies that are outside the country. So I invested in one company called Biocorn. They take corn webs. So they buy corn webs. So this is the web of the corn. So the corn is removed and they buy it from 6,000 farmers. They take these corn webs and they turn them into falfala oil. So this is special oil, bio oil that is used for a number of applications, very high, very expensive oil. So this is one example of a company that they are helping the farmers, thousands of farmers that are relieving not only in selling the corn, but in selling the web and being able then to turn it into a product that is environmental friendly. Another example is Joysan. This is in Ghana. They're the #1 leader in drilling for oil, drinkable oil in rural areas where you have no access to, not oil, water, no access to water. So they drill, they install the solar pump or the hand pump, and then they provide water to companies. So this is also another company where I invested, and so on. So you have different examples of different companies. Be happy to spend a lot of time. I have a portfolio of it. If you don't have ideas, how can I find one? So I answered this question. What you do is look at all the companies that today are being accelerated or being funded. These companies, it's public information, it's available. You look at it and you say, this is what they do. This is interesting. It will give you ideas. It will also give you maybe opportunities to join one of these companies. So you have a broad portfolio of companies that have been funded over the past 10 years. Access them. You might also do the same thing in other countries and see this is a great idea that is not present in Lebanon and bringing back to Lebanon. Is it worth investing in Lebanon? I personally am investing. The $100 million that are coming from these donors are investing. Clearly, a number of people are looking at getting their money outside the country. I think the best time to invest is in times of crisis. When I don't know who said that you invest when you hear the gunshots and you sell when you hear the bells ringing. You know, so this is when everybody is celebrating. This is the time to sell, and when everybody is in a border of civil war, and this is where you buy because the valuation are at the lowest now. So I'm personally investing. I'm investing as Constantin Salameh. I'm investing as a shareholder in Cedars, which is a business angel fund. I'm investing as the head of investments for WE4F. I'm investing as the member of the investment committee for Beritech Fund 1 and Beritech Fund 2. So there is, but I could understand that some people are very concerned. So this is my view as Constantin Salameh. You might have some different views, or your parents might have some different views. Should I gain experience before? You could gain experience in being an entrepreneur. So, and this is where you have a number of these companies looking for internship. Go for these internships, try the internship, look at these different websites that are available. What are the positions? Knock at doors of people. This is, take your, and I know a lot of people are doing it. And the jobs are very limited, but they exist. They exist. We are posting every day openings that we have on it. Is it worse? How do I know? Okay, how do I know that I should give up on? Okay, if you've tried it, if you first surround yourself with people who could help you. So not only have the idea, try to go to accelerators. If no accelerators are accepting you, you need to understand why. So maybe there is some lessons behind it. So trying to find out what it is and see whether you could address it or not. And if you can't address it, maybe it's a time to do something different. And there is nothing wrong. At least you tried it. And I would raise my hat for you because you tried it. Lebanese social enterprise is struggling in Lebanon due to government obstacle. What do you recommend for Aspire? Okay, I believe the time will come. I'm a firm believer in the need for social enterprises. So this is, and this, there could be NGOs and they could be for-profit. My recommendation is that you could start as an NGO, but you need sustainability. So what my role is, not only in Lebanon, but across the MENA region and also in Africa, is to help those social enterprise sustain. And to sustain, you need to diversify your funding sources. Don't rely only on donation. You need to rely on generating revenue, generating cash flow from what you do. So this is my motto in life, is how to help social enterprise sustain, scale, access funding, and convince investors to come in, not donors, investors to come in. Okay, so this is quite important. So yes, there is going to be a time, and this time will, it's starting now. We have Al-Fanar, for instance, fund social enterprise. We are now creating an impact fund for social enterprise. Impact Rise is an accelerator for social enterprise. So Arc-en-Ciel and others, Su'at Tayyib, are all part of, and they could be NGOs or it could be for profits. Okay, if I wanted to open, you could open a unique restaurant. There is nothing wrong, and you could will be happy. This could be, you could be an entrepreneur in this way. So is it? Can you tell us again the books you recommend? Wasn't working. Okay, you see the books? There are plenty of books on entrepreneurship. What I recommend is, I mean, you could have. There is one. I'll send it to Patrick. There is one that contains everything that you need on entrepreneurship. It's the Harvard Business School review that came up with it, and it contains all the different elements. I think it's probably one of the best written one. I'll forward it. You'll access it. I have it also free of charge. So this will be, it's 15 different books into one, and it covers all the different topics that you need in leadership, in entrepreneurship, and others. So this could be.
Mr. Constantin, just one thing, since you mentioned this point, I just wanted to say to all the attendees that we have sent 4 links for 4 videos that you made on YouTube. So everyone has the links and they can watch your 4 videos on YouTube. We've sent the link today through email.
Okay, so I have, those are four videos that you have. You could access them. They're in English. They've been funded by USAID. And this is as a result of my sitting down with hundreds of different founders of companies. So listening to them, understanding what the challenges they face, and trying to help them in how best to address these challenges. And these are short. You know, each of these videos typically takes about a couple of days in terms of, I summarize it in 15 minutes. Now you have so many other videos also available online, but start with those ones. Okay, now you had another one. What is a typical profile of an entrepreneur? I mentioned this. One is you need to have guts, le courage. So this is 2, you need to have some sort of idea. So you need to be creative. Do you have ideas? Are you a creation of ideas? 3 is not only being good at ideas, but being good at executing those ideas. So you must be structured. It's not great to have only ideas. The real beauty is to make not to have dreams, but to make your dreams come true. So this is really the success of the entrepreneurs. So these are the characteristics that you need, and you really want to make a difference. So if you want to make a difference, you have the courage. You are in some ways a visionary. You do it. The rest would follow. The team, find yourself a co-founder. It's always good to have 2 or 3. We prefer companies where you don't do it alone, 2 or 3. So this will be even great. People that complement your skill set, and then come and let's talk. You have so many of these ideathon and hackathons coming across universities. Okay, so I'm an architect with a dream of being an entrepreneur. Do you have any programs related to? Okay, architecture, I don't per se on this. In some ways, they touch different fields because we are renewable energy is there because we're looking at a number of take the Hotel Dieu solar system that they have. So we have a lot of it is also architecture and design together with renewable energy. So the combination of clean tech and architecture could be one area that would be of interest. The combination of waste management with architecture is another one. So waste management, clean tech have a big convergence also with architecture. So this will be my recommendation. How can a startup in the beauty sector make social marketing be so? Okay, now the beauty sector, you could train people because a social enterprise is not only on your product and your services, it's finding employment opportunities. So if you could find women in, I don't know, that are unemployed or youth that are unemployed and teach them skill set that they could use, you become a social enterprise. So across all the sectors, not only in beauty, One of the companies in West Africa is one of the leading cosmetics companies, social enterprise, huge employment opportunities, primarily for women in this case, and the major success stories that they came up with. So this, I have an idea, but that is it. Can I still apply? Okay, now if you have the idea, you need to test it. You need to at least validate it with, friends that you have or family members. Get some sort of feedback on your idea, and they will tell you it works, it doesn't work. We have what we call a teaser. On one sheet of paper, you present what is your idea, what do you think, who would be your customer, how would you go take your ideas into a product on it. So this is on one sheet of paper, and then throw it out to me, to people that are around you, to the number of advisors that we have, and we'll give you feedback whether it makes sense or it doesn't make sense. Okay, Berytech only help young people, or both young people, students. If you look at my slides, graduate students, but also existing entrepreneurs. Sabah is a clear example. She had a big track record, decided to be an entrepreneur. So we really need to provide the support services to anybody that has innovative ideas, and they want to take this idea into a product or service. And this could be anybody from a 20-year-old to a 70 or 80 years old.
Constantin?
Yes.
I just want to add something here, because several questions are coming about how to start, how to kick it off.
Yes.
I think what Berytech has been doing for the past few years is that in order to help people to go into the programs, they do ideation workshops, and then they do the hackathon. Ideation, because I usually participate with them as a coach. What they do in these events is some people come with just an idea. And I have seen ideas that at the first approach, you would say, no, it's not valid, it doesn't work. But then they succeed. So in these ideation workshops, people also get together. So if someone has an idea but doesn't have a team, he can team up with some other people who are coming because they want to do something and to be entrepreneur. So follow Agritech events, and whenever they have ideation, this is very good to participate. Even if you succeed or you don't succeed, it would be just for you to present an idea, form the team, and then you can take it to a second level. Okay?
Thank you, Sabah. And these ideathon and hackathon are not only Berytech. Every one of the accelerators have it. Yes. So AUB has it, USEC have it, LEU has it. So Lebanese University, LIU, all of them have it. So those ideathon and hackathon is the best way to start to validate whether your idea makes sense, doesn't make sense. Now we have another question here where somebody has an invention with a prototype and a patent. So you're pretty advanced. If you're already at the patent phase and you won 6 international medal, international invention, then this is clearly the potential for an accelerator. So you need to look, you need to be able to see, depending which sector you're in, align it with one of the accelerators that are present in Lebanon. So this is, so here you're much advanced. We definitely will be looking for people like you. If you have your prototype, if you have a patent already, you're ahead of the game, and this will be very interesting to a number of accelerators. Okay, and I mentioned in the slide set some of the accelerators, but you know that just Google accelerator in Lebanon and you will see there is probably about 15 of them being present and active. What makes a startup innovative, and what is the best way to prove it while applying to grants? Okay, when you apply to grants, and the question I get always, why do you end up choosing these companies and not other companies? What are the criteria that you have on it? And this comes again, why is this company getting $500,000 where I'm only getting $100,000 in it? And the answer is, look, it's a summary of different elements. One element is the innovation. For instance, the person who has already a patent has some sort of innovative edge. Innovation is important. Show me that there is innovation potential in your idea. If it's an idea that everybody has and you have about 20 different companies coming up with the same idea and the same product, I'm less interested. So innovation is one. The second I is about impact. is it creating a social impact? Is it creating job opportunities? Is it impacting positively the environment? Is it impacting the water, the air, the grounds, the forest, the land? So all of those. So the social impact, the second I is important. The third one is impact in terms of financial impact. Can we make money out of it? Is this something that is sustainable? And can investors come in and put money and get money afterwards from it with some sort of a benefit from it? So the impact for social impact, but impact in terms of financial impact, which is basically how scalable it is. And then you have the other I, which is the team, is how a level of integrity, of governance that is present in it. So this is, so how strong is the team? How innovative is the idea? How big is the social impact? How scalable you are to generate financial impact? These are the drivers to decide if your company or if your idea makes sense or does not make sense. Okay, so I hope I answered it. Can any person with an idea come out? Since I answered, I have an idea in the agri-food sector, but I'm not part of the group, just me. It's okay. I mean, you could start by being alone. My recommendation is find someone. Find someone. You need to. It's always good to be two heads. إيد لواحدة ما بتزقف. So if you are two good thinking head, and put yourself as one or two advisors. There is a number of people who'd love to become advisors and to help. So either through your circle, your teachers, your professors, your uncle, your aunt, whatever it is, get yourself some sort of a team, even if it's not full time. These are people helping you once in a blue moon or whatever. So this is the way to start. Is being an entrepreneur a skill? Because they say you need to be a person that can take risk and handle fear. Is the skill because you, I don't understand your question, but clearly an entrepreneur is somebody that enjoys taking risk. If you don't enjoy taking risk, forget it. It's about taking risk, and it's about managing this risk. It's about hedging this risk. Okay, how do I get funding for restaurant startup? You have different sources of funding, being it restoration. Now, some of them have stopped. You know, the big ones that beside the equity, the grants that you have is Kafalat. Kafalat Khater is the general manager of Kafalat. So you have now Kafalat have a bit stopped because of the situation, but they will continue. World Bank has provided ISME, which is part of Kafalat, with grants. You have also subsidized loans. They will all come back, and they have equity. So you have this is the way for restaurant, because restaurant is not technology unless it's a very specific restaurant on it. Veritech only funds ideas in Lebanon. No, we fund in Lebanon, but now becoming regional. The WE4F program that I presented is across MENA, and more of our program are across MENA. We used to be startup focused Lebanon. We are now startup and SME focused and across the region, and you will see more of this. Investing in times of crisis is always applicable. It's the best time to invest. I believe that this is when you made, I never bought as much land as over the past 12 to 18 months. I've never invested in companies as much as over the past 12 to 18 months on it. Now, part of it is at the time, it was even before the crisis, is because I knew that the banks in some way, so I said, why do I want to keep my money at 6 or 7%? And I'm not sure what the future of the banks are. So I have reduced my position, and I've invested in real estate properties like a number of Lebanese did, but also in a number of companies, existing companies and startup companies. And you have a number of other Lebanese did the same thing as I did. What are some required skills that help me start my entrepreneur? Look, I mean, I've mentioned the skills. One is cross-functional. You need to be able to, I mean, if you're only an engineer and want to focus on engineer, I'm an engineer. I started in renewable energy, graduated from MIT. I was very happy, went to Stanford, to the business school. This is where I realized engineering alone is not enough. So I tried to broaden. What is the best way to broaden? I decided to take an MBA. What is the best university? Like I went to MIT and I said at Stanford would be, so let's apply, and managed lucky to get in and get full scholarship at both at MIT. And so get your skill sets broadened. So you either get it through education or you get it through internships. So with my sons, they got it both. I got them into, they managed to get themselves into great universities, but at the same time, I combined this with a number of internships. By getting this is the skill set that you need. Cross-sector, cross-functional, cross-country, that you have to do this. So this is in different, he was working, Patrice is my eldest son, he was working in R&D, then he moved to work into operation, he moved to sales and marketing, he then moved, and in different countries. He started Lebanon, Sweden, UK, Mexico. on it. So this is the broader you, and you are at the age where you like sponsors. So try and look at those opportunities, even if it's 2 months or 3 months. This is important. If I have enough money, can I invest in startup? You could always, either yourself or you could invest through Seeders. Seeders, Google it, SEEDERS. You Google it, and this is the way to get money. Is the accelerator passed a must in order to become? No, it's not. But the accelerator provides you grants, providing you the support, provide you with advisory services, and it's free of charge for you. And on top of this, you get money in your pocket. So if you could find better than this, it's fine. But you might not need it. You might have already your great ideas with great investors, and you could jump, start, and go straight away into venture capitalists. It's an exception, but they do exist. Where can I keep in contact with WE4F is you need to be an existing company for at least 2 years. You cannot go, it's not for startups. This is for SMEs. So you need to be, and then what you could do, reach out to me, we'll be happy. Or they have a website. It's we4f.org. And we are the one managing MENA. So you have it in MENA, you have it in Africa, you have it in Asia. Why is there a lot of external funding now? It's because countries are concerned that Lebanon could go the other way. And if the SME sector collapses, the banks are collapsing, the government is collapsing, the country have high chances. So they cannot afford to have this happen. So this is why you have a lot of money going into SME developments in order to avoid this happening. Because I mean, in some ways, these countries are selfish because they know if they don't have this, there's going to be a huge level of people leaving the country. So, and they probably prefer to have job opportunities in the country instead of people leaving the country and coming. So it's a combination of the two. How do you know when to chase or invest in your ideas? Look, what you need, it's a part of it is you're going to learn it on the job. The more you do, the more mistake you do, the more you learn, and the more you learn, the better you'll be at it. So what I'm saying is start, try, give it a chance, and then you will see how this goes. Do you also provide support for mobile applications? Well, of course, I mean, a lot of those companies are mobile application or infrastructure related. So this is, there's plenty of them. What are your LinkedIn profile, please? I would like to connect with you and Ms. Sabah. Okay, so I have LinkedIn, but I don't use it. So the best way is Google. You get my contact detail, and you get also Sabah. Sabah is the founder of Regino. You get both of us contact detail through the through Google. Grants are repayable. No, grants is a grant. Grant is like free money. Grant is I'm giving it. Now I could give it to you based on milestone. I tell you, look, we agree on these milestones. You deliver on these milestones, you get the money. You don't deliver on the milestone, you don't get the money. Or there could be some which is just a grant without milestone being based. Or you could have some where you would say it's matching grant. Is I would like you to raise the amount of money either through your friends, family, or other investors, and I will match it. So you have different types of grant. But normally when a grant, it's not a debt. You don't have to pay it back. It's yours. If I have an idea and I have already started selling my product on Instagram, how can you help me become you already are an entrepreneur. If you have the idea and you're selling it on Instagram, you are an entrepreneur. So what you need to do is get the support needed. And I listed a number of these supports. Easiest way to make money. Easiest way to make money. What is the easiest way to make money? It's I don't know.
Work in politics.
Getting politics? No, hopefully not. No, hopefully not. Very good. Look, it's been a busy session. I hope you enjoyed it. Sabah, many thanks for being with me. The team
Pleasure.
that made this happen, thank you to all. Miriam, do you want to close it?
I think I'm gonna give the floor to Gael if she has any closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Constantin and Ms. Sabah. Guys, you can start by leaving now. I just want to thank you all for attending all along the session. And I want to thank you, Mr. Constantin and Mrs. Sabah. And have a good night, guys.
Enjoy it. Stay safe. Stay hopeful.
Thank you, guys.
Stay hopeful. All the best.
Just for the recording of the session, we're going to send it at the end of the program, so at the end of the months. Okay, so for everyone who's asking, thank you, Mr. Constantin Salameh, for your time. And thank you, everyone, for attending. It was an amazing session. Thank you, guys, for your time.